Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Trump signs executive order to militarize police. Right. And basically, I got it from this title here of this article. It says Trump signs executive orders to militarize police, punish sanctuary cities and refugees. And basically, this is going into what? Jacob's trouble, the beginning stages of it. He saw Edom coming down with great wrath, right? So, basically also a second title you could say would be not to trust in Esau Edom, not to lean on Esau Edom, basically. So let me grab this because he's signing executive orders, right, which are prescribed because we understand that Trump is a puppet of the banking elites who run the world. The individuals who run the world are the JOOs, the Rothschilds, right? The people that run the banking systems. And Trump get these things and he signs them and he sits there and smiles for the camera, right? This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." And the grievousness that they have prescribed is what? These executive orders, because why? If you get into it, it says President Trump has signed 3 more executive orders, further cracking down on the rights of immigrants and asylum seekers. One order seeks to compile a list of so-called sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with Trump's mass deportation policies. It says a second order further militarize local police departments. So this is harsh decrees because what? Trump has given the police immunity. Trump is going to give the police. Well, he has already given the police immunity. I actually tried to search it up, but I couldn't. It's actually still right here. Yeah, see, Trump signs executive order for police immunity. Make sure that's the right word. All right, Slacky, bear with me 1 second. All right, Slacky about that. I'm back over here. So, a second further militarizes local police departments. So that is immunity. I'm hoping I'm spelling this right. I hope this is the correct word I'm looking for. Immunity. So anyway, Trump gave the cops immunity, from certain things, if I can't find it. But he did do that. So this goes into Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed." This is very grievous to individuals to have an executive order that militarizes local police departments and give them immunity, from the things that they do. So this is Esau Edom coming down with that great wrath. It says Revelation 12:12, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau, even the so-called white man, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." See, Esau's time is short, and he knows this, so he's moving with speed, to bring in his agenda, his 2030 agenda, whatever agenda he has that he thinks is about to save him. He's rolling with all of that. But the scriptures say that he imagines the vain thing. It also says that the Most High stop him. What is that? Psalms 2. Psalms 2, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" See, it says, look, "The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us." And why? Because really and truly, this is after the hopeful elect. This is after the Israelites, right? And you want to know how I know that? Is because even from the beginning, the very beginning, because once again, going to the second title, which is not to trust Esau Edom. From the very beginning, Esau Edom was not trying to help us. Even back, when we didn't know who we were, right? Revelations 11, skipping a few down, going to verse 9, this is going to what? The Israelites. And the fact that the people did not tell us who we were. This is Revelations 11:9. It says, "And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations." So this is all the individuals pursuant to what? Psalms 83. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, right, and consulted against thy hidden ones." So these devils and the heathen, right, have come against the Israelites to cut them off from making a nation, and they didn't want to tell us who we were. But here in these last days, we see things like what Iran throwing up the dark images, saying that the CIA is watching the Israelites. You have Russia throwing up the dark images, saying that they ruled during the Byzantine Empire, the Byzantine Empire, right? And these things are happening because the nations are mad at each other, right? They're raging against each other. They're fighting against each other. So they're divided, right? And the kingdom divided cannot stand. They're no longer joined together trying to, which they still are, but they're so at war with each other that it's messing them up. All right, so like I'm gonna get right back to this Revelation 9. Let me pause it again. I got a few calls coming in. All right, so back to this Revelation 11:9. It says, "And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves." So what this is talking about is the fact that these nations seen us in our lowest state, not knowing who we were, and didn't let us know who we were. That's what this is talking about. Let me see what it says in the NLT. It says NLT, and for 3.5 days, all peoples, tribes, languages, and nations will stare at their bodies. No one will be allowed to bury them. Right. So no one basically told us who we were. Right. They didn't let us know. They didn't tell us that we was the Israelites. So anyway, verse 11, it says, "And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them." I'm sorry, I skipped the verse. Verse 11 and 10, it says, "And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth." See, so because we was in our lowest state, when Esau finally put us into slavery, because the Most High gave us into his hand, they were happy as hell because of basically us ruling over them. We ruled over them. We completely destroyed them. We had them underfoot. They was in subjection. The 40 years of peace with King David and King Solomon. You go back to the first Maccabees, second Maccabees, with the many wars that took place during that time. How we as the Israelites, overcame our enemies a lot. So they was finally happy when they finally, put us basically underfoot, because it says here what we tormented them that dwell on the earth. See, Revelation 11:11, it says, "And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." So that's going to Ezekiel 37, right? Us, the dry bones awakening, us coming to the knowledge of the truth without no help, right? We don't need a cosign. We don't need help from Esau either, right? It was Yahweh Bashim outside that put the spirit in us, to wake back up, So anyway, that's the point. They didn't help us before. They definitely not gonna help us now, right? So this is, the sanctuary cities. You shouldn't really trust in these sanctuary cities. You should trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. So a second order further militarizes local police departments while providing legal resources to officers accused of abuses. See, hey, look, it says while providing legal resources to officers accused of abuses. Abuse. So that's that immunity I was talking about, right? See, this is draconian measures. It said it also seeks to undo federal consent decrees for departments that have committed civil rights abuses, and seeks to punish local officials who unlawfully prohibit law enforcement officers from carrying out duties. See, hey, this is Esau coming down with that great rap. It said a third executive order requires professional truck drivers to be proficient in English. Hey, a lot of people that come from these other countries and whatnot, they come and they become a truck driver. For whatever reason, I don't know. But hey, it says a third executive order requires professional truck drivers to be proficient in English. There's a lot of truck drivers that don't know English like that. It says on Monday, staffers placed signs on the White House lawn showing mugshots of immigrants, linking them to crimes with the word arrested written in all caps. Hey, yo, this is a wicked ass society I'm living in. Hey, you know who is those 1948ers? in there with in the White House right now, the Jew lobbyists, right? They're the one really calling the shots and leading Trump, which way they need him to go. And they happy to come against our people. That's why you can't trust in these devils. That's the point of the whole video. Just going to the news, this news article says this comes as House Republicans have proposed a bill that would charge people arriving at U.S. port of entry $1,000 in order to file an asylum claim. Hey, America through. All right, this place is collapsing. It says, and they just doing stuff. They, this is a 3,500 fee for those sponsoring children. It says the right to seek asylum is a fundamental human right enshrined in international law, and the U.S. has never before charged petitioners. They charge it now because they had the end. Right, they moving with great rap because they know it's over for them. So this is in the news, not to trust Esau either. Hey, what is this? Isaiah 10:20, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel in truth. See, so we're in that time now where the hopeful elect is leaning on the Lord, right? We're not leaning towards Esau because Esau helped in vain. His rust has not been altogether wiped away, and he's going to come down with that great wrath, right? So even Trump mentioning these sanctuary cities, let's just say people thought beforehand that these sanctuary cities was good, but now here the devil come, signing those draconian measures coming in. You thought you was going to trust in Esau and be protected in his neighborhood, but no, it's not the case. The only help you can get is from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's how you'll be protected. It says the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty Yahweh. For through thy people Israel, for though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. Hey, that's that remnant, that 1/3 that's returning to the Lord now in these last days, right? And leaning upon him and not on Esau, right? Let me see what this word consumption is talking about. It says completion. Really, that's what it is. Completion, destruction, consumption, annihilation, failing, penny. All right. Right, the completion, the consumption decree, the consumption decree shall overflow righteousness. It says, for Lord Yahweh of hosts shall make a consumption, even determined in the midst of all the land. And even a destruction is coming too. Right? What? Hey, Elder Pastor Hart coined this year what? The hopeful year of Jacob's deliverance and the destruction of Esau Edom. Right? All that's going to take place. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua of hosts, O my people that dwellest in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrians. This is talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Hey, what is it? Caleb? I believe it was Caleb and Joshua. Let me see. All right, Slaki, I got to answer this again. All right, so Isaiah 10:24, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua of hosts, O my people that dwell in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrians. He shall smite thee with a rod and shall lift up his staff against thee after the men of Egypt, right? That's going to that hardcore bondage, hardcore slavery, right? And even Esau even come down with great wrath these last days. It says, for yet a very little while, and the indignation shall cease, and mine anger and their destruction. It says, in a little while, my anger against you will end, and then my anger will rise up to destroy them. Hey, yeah, that's the point. The scriptures in Zephaniah 3:8 says that. We just gotta wait and not trust in Esau Edom. Just watch them go down, right? We just watch it. We got a popcorn and other stuff, It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine angry nation. Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured my jealousy. Right? So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is coming with complete fire. Now this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, but like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. That can go into a lot of things. You thinking you go into a sanctuary city, the judge or whatever, the court mayor or whatnot is helping you, and then all of a sudden the mayor just turn up on you, and round y'all all up into one building, and ICE come in there and get all y'all in one scoop. That's the point. This is Psalms 121. I'll read the whole thing. It says, "The Lord Yahweh, the keeper of Israel, says, I will lift up." This is a song of decrees. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord Yahweh is thy keeper. The Lord Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So hey, this whole thing is the point. But verse 2 says what? My help coming from the Lord Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. Going to Esau and trusting in Esau Edom for nothing. Right? Isaiah 30:1, it says, woe to the rebellious children to the Lord Yahweh that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and trust in the shadow of Egypt. So you trusting in a sanctuary city here in Babylon the Great, right? Trying to get up, behind the walls of another Edomite, establishment, basically, and not, getting the covering of Yahweh Bashman Shai and being put up under his wings. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. See, so you think in a sanctuary city. Meanwhile, Trump signing executive orders April 29, 2025. That was today. That's today, right? To say, okay, well, now we're going to militarize the police, and they're going to come over there to those sanctuary cities and just round you up regardless, right? That's the point. Jump down to verse 7. It says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. So Esau can't help you, right? It's vain and to no purpose, right? Isaiah 31:1 says, what sorrow awaits those who look to Egypt for help, trusting their horses, chariots, and charioteers, and depending on the strength of human armies instead of looking to the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Al-Shai, the Holy One of Israel. In his wisdom, Lord, hey, some of y'all are probably right now talking about, damn, I hope America win this war so I can be safe. So I can go back to living in folly and sin. It says, in his wisdom, the Lord Yahweh will send great disaster. He will not change his mind. He will rise against the wicked and against their helpers. For these Egyptians are mere humans. So these Egyptians are going to Esau, the so-called white man, America. It says, for these Egyptians are mere humans, not God. It says their horses are puny flesh, not mighty spirits. When the Lord Yahweh raises his fist against them, those who will help will stumble, and those being helped will fall. They will all fall down and die together. See, so hey, Trump coming after y'all, that's going to these sanctuary cities, and the mayors that's trying to protect y'all at the same time. See, and it's the Lord's doing. Hey, so the warning has went out. Lord willing, you will edify from the lesson. I'll say shalom to those for elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.